Alright guys, here we go with a live stream of Over the Top World War 1. And I just gotta make sure I can see your comments, as always. Can only open the link when it goes live. Still haven't gotten into figuring that part out to schedule it and all of that. Probably not too hard, but still. Alright, yeah, here we go, so yeah. I should be able to see your comments now, and yeah, so I have played a bit of the game earlier today, and I will say that in this stream I'll be focusing on the single player option, which is actually a lot of fun, and it gets quite chaotic, so we'll see it in a bit. And as always, you can see the featured print, the featured painting behind me, instead of a British short-haired cat. It's the cat of a good friend of mine, Menachem, and it is it is perhaps one of the most photogenic cats I have ever met, so all the links are in the description, as well as the link to the game itself that I'm streaming today. So let's get right into it, let's have some fun, and as you can see I have like two options here. One is build a battle, which is more detailed. I'm not gonna be going into it right now, but we do have instant battle. So which one was fun? I think the heroes one was fun, and you can choose who gets to attack, how many bots, and you have the bot Collins multiplier, which you absolutely do want to max it. It's gonna get very chaotic. I think you love it, basically. And attacker bots, yes, so you can have maximum of 200 bots, which is also quite a bit of fun. And score to win 1000. For my impressions earlier today, it was enough for a good fun. It doesn't end too quickly. So yeah, so let's get right into that, and there are a whole bunch of really cool options that I'll show you in a bit. So basically, in single player you can have, I'm gonna go with the Brits. I'm gonna go as the officer so that I can basically spawn the enemies with artillery. And in single player, I pretty much have all of the admin options. You have the admin menu, you have the server settings info. What I'm gonna do here is go to the weather settings and change the time of day to be noon, which is the best well lit. And there was also the sapper cannon. Yes. So what was that? Let's see. Was it in the cannon? Was it in the cannon? No, I'm pretty sure it was somewhere else. I don't remember exactly now, but let's see, not in the map settings, not in the player settings, not in the... yeah, definitely not in the balance, not in the bots. Sounds like it should be here, but alright, yeah, so the max height in decimeters from the ground, buildings or small objects cyphers are allowed to build. So that is a thing to that I usually just max out so that you can have really deep craters, but let's see. So that should allow for the craters to go very, very deep. Very cool, looking a little bit different, but I'm not seeing anything else that should do it. But alright, yeah, so let's just get right into it. We should be able to potentially have pretty deep craters. And as you can see, I have 100 bots on my team, and it's gonna get seriously chaotic. I played it a bit earlier today, and man, this stuff is fun. So by the way, the playtest is currently available. I think it's gonna be perhaps today, maybe a bit of tomorrow. The link is in the description, and as you can see, single player is in from the get-go. Hey Eugene, nice seeing you here. Always nice seeing you. And here we go. So things are gonna get messy real quick. Projectiles are gonna be flying, and things will be exploding, limbs will be flying. There is some degree of gore here. I will say it is mainly, I find it mainly cool for two things. The very chaotic feel of it, the fact that you can play it in single player now, which I do absolutely love, where you can kind of just mess around and, you know, you aren't like a drag on your team. And the destruction, which is still in the works, but in terms of terrain and vegetation, it is quite nice. And there is first person, but you for whatever reason you actually can't, as far as I saw, you can't look down sides. Not entirely sure why, so you can basically just look like this in this classic first person view. Maybe it's gonna change, who knows. Trying to not to get myself burned alive. I don't have any cheats on my character, there should be, but haven't actually been able to find them. And by the way, I will say thanks to Awesome, one of the developers of the game, who gave me some tips on how to enjoy myself more in the stream, so and this means that there's gonna be an airstrike here in a very near future, so I'm just gonna GTFO, absolutely. It's gonna get real ugly real fast. Yeah, here we go, so we do have... But it's fine, yeah, here we go. Could have been me if I stuck around there, so... And I'll try to stay away from the gas, which is never really a very nice thing to do. Is this? Yeah, I think it's actually a death animation. He isn't alive, because there is a disabled state too, which was carried over from Battle Cry of Freedom, but this isn't it. Fuck. Yeah, I was kind of too busy with that guy. Wow. And getting away has not saved me, as you can see. And the cool thing is that even with the 100 bots on each side, it does run decently well. Eventually there will be some hiccups, but they are pretty mild. Like think like Red Orchestra, when you have the basically bodies vest permanently, so of course as the fight goes on it gets messier. So I don't have permanent bodies here, but I do have heaps of destruction. I think at some point that does get to my PC, but overall I will say the performance is not bad at all for fights of this scale. So for me, this thing, I will say, does scratch a certain niche of, as I mentioned, just being able to get a chaotic fight feel, even if the bots, as you can see, the bots are far from perfect, right? They do silly things at times, they aren't always responding correctly, but you do get this feel of an intense battle without committing to some without committing to a multiplayer game where you can be a drag on your teammates. I'm actually gonna make it a little bit louder. This should do, alright. So that we have some audio too. I think the tank is enemy actually, so I think, not sure. Where's the trench we're supposed to be taking? Right, so I think it's... And then I have been sprayed by some machine gun. Actually, let's see, how can I change team to spectators? Right, so as you can see, like, there hasn't... The battle wasn't going on for terribly long, but... Things are already getting messed up very, very nicely. Like, none of those craters were pre-made, right? They were all just a part of the ongoing battle. This guy certainly wasn't pre-made, as you can imagine. Yeah, and get seriously chaotic, and you can enjoy it in single player, which is pretty awesome. And all of that, yeah, like, all of this wasn't here before, so that is, in my opinion, seriously cool. And let's get back to the breeds. Probably do want to have a mask on for this. And basically it kind of is like a Battlefield Conquest mode, so you have to capture the 3 objectives and try to keep them as much as you can. I really wouldn't mind some aiming down sights right now. I thought I picked the officer, oh well. Right, so pretty soon I should have enough points to... Did I throw it in? Oh yeah, I did. I think my nade actually fell there, so... I think my nade actually fell there, so... Yeah, you do have a chance of dropping a nade. I have seen it on a bot. I have seen a bot get killed earlier today, and he dropped a nade and that exploded where it fell. So you do have post-mortal nades. Which for some reason some games don't have, like it should be kind of obvious, but... It should have hurt them. Oh well. I don't think in this case the ruins are indestructible, I'm not a fan of that. Would have liked to see them go down, but... But as you can see, it does get quite intense. Try to save someone. The more friendlies here, the merrier. And the, oh, yeah, I do get out of there. It's gonna. I don't know what was called in, but it's probably not gonna be pretty. So I'm actually gonna go on and call in something too. Or get shot, as it also may happen. But yeah, I am very much in the mood for bombing something right now, and hello fanatics. As I was saying, I am in the mood for bombing something at this stage, so if I'll be able to survive, and that should be just about good enough. Alright, yeah, so that should be... That should hit them right where it hurts, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, they are being kind of... Well, I killed a teammate, but... Most of the enemies are being kind of slaughtered there, which was my intention. Perhaps should have saved that artillery for the war metal. And I got a GTFO ASAP, but I think if I stay alive from far enough, I should be able to be essentially a spawn point for my friendlies, which is gonna be useful as we have some friendlies flying all over the place. And we have just, as I mentioned, there are many colonies. There are many colonies, and get seriously chaotic. For whatever reason, mine aren't recharging quite as fast, but we do have craters for absolutely freaking everything. I'm playing today, I haven't been able to capture B actually. I tried. Just very little cover all the way to that objective, and you are just getting shot from just about everywhere. You can get some bots to follow you actually. It's a pretty cool feature. So this guy with the yellow tag above him is a bot follower. I have two on me at the moment. I could use some more. Yeah, so hopefully the AI will get a little bit better as the development continues, and get an even more fun single player experience. But even at this age, I am enjoying this. And as I mentioned, the AI definitely needs some work for sure. Is he alive? Yeah, he was alive. He was alive. As I'm being told, the followers I had were actually dead. So, yeah. And apparently they won. Apparently I also should make the match last a little bit longer and go for a different map. So, yeah, I'll just max it. I do remember the railway map from the time I was doing the interview. It was pretty cool, so let's get into this. Pattern visibility is basically fine, so that's all good. Hello Garevich, nice seeing you here. And maybe they'll find some activities for the bots for the preparation for the attack. I have seen some preps by players in multiplayer. Mostly construction, like digging in some trenches. So yeah, so that's gonna be cool. When the bots will be able to dig in trenches. Maybe perhaps improvise entrenching points and I'll try to get around some bot following. And here you go, flamethrowers, explosions and whatnot. You know, I thought this place might be kind of safe. I'm not entirely sure about this anymore, but right, so now I have a bit of a stronger bot following, and I'll try to flank as much as I can. I'm going to point A. And hopefully avoid the absolute slaughterhouse that's going on right down there with all of the coins. Gas, mortars, and whatnot. Aha! That is the nice thing about having some bot followers. Right, we're down to 4, now we have 5. And as you can see, the bots absolutely need some work. But yeah, they are basically so... For my understanding, as I was talking with the devs back in the interview, basically the features are in there. They're focusing on this one main game mode, just perhaps more maps and more polish, which is very, very important. Alright, I am glad I was able to give this grenade. Maybe I'll be able to get someone with it. So as I was saying, the focus is basically more on polish, rather than making a whole bunch of new features. Basically refining and making sure that the current ones do work well. Which I think is quite important. Alright, so I have 5 bots on me. Let's see how many maximum bots I can get. I think it could be... Oh, whoa, yeah. So apparently we have enemies advancing. That I wasn't even aware of. Yeah, all coming from that range. By the way, to anyone who just tuned in, it is all entirely in the single player. There is, it's all bots. They have some issues, absolutely, but as you can see, still quite a cool experience. And you can have some bot followers, which is always awesome. In case it wasn't clear, fire at will, fire at bloody will. But I think their default should be fire at will. And for whatever reason, the enemies really like this range, and it's just me and 3 bot followers here. We are getting slaughtered. Down to 2, and their average health is 50%, and yeah, the enemy figured that they probably should bomb me. Yeah, I'm gonna die. I am gonna die, I'm probably gonna get myself finished. Oh yeah. So yeah. And the bots will finish downed enemies, which is kinda cool. No honor. Absolutely no honor whatsoever. And how the hell am I supposed to get out there? I'm probably not. As I mentioned, the bots need some more work. But yeah. Guys, no, don't. Rising front. Sounds kinda familiar, I'm not sure. Rising front? Not Rising Storm, I reviewed Rising Storm. So it turned into an enemy spawn and yeah, basically had no chance there. I think I'll just join the advance and I'll try to capture A. Try to get myself some bot followers. And go right into the dirtiness of the trenches. And not survive very long, of course. Garivich DM me with this Rising Front game, I am not... I think I just spawned and died immediately. Yeah, so just DM me with that Rising Front game, I'll check it out. Sure, why not? Alright, spawning on that guy was a mistake, as you can very well see. I'll try advancing on C perhaps? Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? Like, it's the fifth time I'm trying to spawn, I'm dying. Finally. That was the enemy spawn and there is no mercy whatsoever. As you can see, like, so I have heard that they did add some destruction to some buildings, but as you can see, not all yet. Many will withstand whatever is being thrown at them. And this thing is gonna get very, very messy very, very quickly. One thing you can actually see here is the trenches can expand. I'm actually gonna make a little bit better lighting so that you can see things better. So let's see weather settings, time of day, let's make it 1 PM. Should make a difference. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, so here we go. So visibility is much nicer now. And as you can see, the trenches can expand. Which is a thing, as you can imagine, I very much like. The sandbags do get demolished. And trenches can very much expand. Once again I'm going into my trench of death. Which is probably gonna end badly for me, but... still definitely worth trying. I think I made this gas tank explode actually. I believe I hit this gas tank and... that made him go boom, and I probably want to avoid that spot for a while. Oh yeah, so was that the... ah yes, so basically the gas tank exploded. My teammates, being bots, which need a lot more work, ran into the fire and they all got basically burned. So, as I mentioned many times, the AI needs more work, but nonetheless it is quite fun to mess around with, I will say. Might actually be able to capture B right now. What the hell, what the hell? As you can see, like, it is just chaotic as shit. And I have only 6 rounds in my revolver. Which is a problem. Which is absolutely a problem. I think I'm gonna be getting some friendlies now. Okay, what was here before everything went down? So this building doesn't seem to come down. Maybe it can, I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, like, all of this stuff is basically creators made in the game. And there are gonna be some more creators coming soon, so absolutely have to GTFO as quickly as I can. Could have been worse. So I think that's the spawn. No point going there, I need to get to the A area. And perhaps if we go from both directions, we might be able to achieve something. We shall see. And you actually can see very well the parts that haven't been too badly fought on, and the parts that have. Oh wait, I do want this and... yeah. Alright, so now I'm gonna be the terrorizer. So I have seen some enemies come from there, and yeah, and friendlies aren't escaping from the area of attack. And apparently those were just 2 stray Germans. Oh well. Still got to mess up nice vegetation, and in my view, the nicer the vegetation looks, the more satisfying it is to bring it down, essentially. And the vegetation does look very nice here. As you can see, it isn't like terribly detailed, but the coloring is very nice actually. And the color stuff matters a lot, because I remember like when I was a kid, and what we had at the time was, I think, GTA Vice City, and I remember just being disappointed by the explosions in the old GTAs, GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. I didn't find those to be terribly impressive. Then we had Delta Force Black Hawk Down. Apparently it wasn't quite as good as the other. It wasn't quite as good as the other Black Hawk games. I think it was a little bit more on rails, as far as I recall. But one thing that kind of really blew me away at the time was the looks of the explosions and just the coloring of it. They really got it right, so that stuff is very much important. And I do have to revisit the Delta Force series at some point. I think I played almost every game when I was a kid. Probably not in the appropriate way. I was just goofing around for the most part, but I do remember seriously enjoying it. Yes, bots, follow me, bots, follow me, bloody bots. We're going to capture A, hopefully. And this place is a mess. Yeah, this is always single player. It's cool. I think even that small nade should leave a crater. Believe it has. Yeah, good luck telling what's what. And I wasn't able to save him, yes, so as you can see he downed the friendly and then just stabbed him to death. Kinda cool animation actually. Don't have much friendlies here at all. Man. Alright, yeah, so apparently it can go down. It absolutely can go down. Look at that. Took quite a bit of abuse, but it eventually went down. Cool. Yeah, so this rubble thing was actually buildings in the past. As always, into the trench of death, which will probably end badly, but I am a masochist, as it appears. But you know what, actually, I can actually hear them right now, so... I can actually hear them quite badly, so I think that should be a fine barrage. Right, so I got some friendlies, but eventually I think I made a pretty good slaughter of the Germans there. Do actually want to look at the aftermath. So perhaps if I'm gonna die right now, I'm gonna go look and gonna spectate and check out the results of that barrage. Hello, this dystopian future 11. Right, so I caught it in right about here. Could have been the guy who killed me, actually. And yeah. Here comes the pain and torture. Where do we have the enemies? So somewhere here. They were quite bombed. Hello, Potato Magobinus. Is it an insult in Spanish? There are some things that can be kind of sound innocent in English, but be actually an insult in a different language. Like, for example, in Russian, let's say mudak means asshole, but in English it's like a mooing duck, which is kind of cute, I suppose. For example, if you are a libertarian, you may want to say gov no, like no to government. But говно in Russian means shit. No, what else did I have? I had one more in this kind of vein, but escapes me at the moment. So apparently the train cards are destructible, but there are some issues. And whatever was called in, I want to see the result of that. And alright, yeah, so definitely needs more work. So potato, I'm actually enjoying this quite a lot, I have to say. The itch, it kind of scratches. I'm playing in single player, and the itch is you kind of get this chaotic war experience with shells exploding all over the place, bullets flying all over the place, but you are playing in single player. You're not a menace to your teammates, and as you can see, there is terrain deformation here is very nice, as it was in Battlecry of Freedom. There is also destruction of vegetation, there is destruction of buildings. Not sure about that specific one I'm currently watching, but I have seen some other buildings take quite a bit of abuse before they came down, but they did eventually come down. And the end, you do have a very nice, very chaotic kind of experience. As I mentioned, you can just mess around, do whatever the hell you want. There are a whole bunch of admin fun options you can mess around with and just basically enjoy a war experience without necessarily having the heaviness of, you know, being kind of forced to teamwork, basically. You know, if you go into squad and just decide to just go solo and try to hunt down whoever you can, you might even get banned on some servers. Or just have people call you an asshole in the chat. But here you can just enjoy yourself. Yeah. I will say a single player squad-like experience would be something I would very much enjoy. I'm actually gonna spectate for a little bit. Let's see, let's go change team spectator. Alright, yeah, so let's look at the mess. So as you can see, like, there were some buildings standing here. Not sure if the bridge can come down, but those were buildings here. Not sure if the main one can come down, but as you can imagine, all of those craters weren't here. And it all is happening dynamically as the fight goes on, and that indeed was a black German soldier, which I think is not very historically accurate at all, whatsoever. And it almost formed a trench, this kind of a bombing run. Yes, one thing that I would love to see the AI eventually be able to make is to be able to form their own trenches, as you can kind of see in, you know, in multiplayer in Battlecry Freedom. You do have players essentially forming their own fortifications, and it always looks seriously cool. And I have had an instance of it range expanding. Let's see if we have it here. Kind of a not. Yeah, so we do actually have it range expanding right here. And the max player count, at least in bot mode, which I'm playing right now, is 200. Eventually, essentially 100 bots per side. And there is a... Was that a lighting or a glitch? So as I was saying, 100 bots per side, and there is kind of this bot support multiplier thing, which essentially allows for a lot more artillery call-ins, basically any call-ins of any kind. And it gets seriously messy, because like for me, as a fan of destruction, seeing this, which it didn't look, it did not look like this whatsoever when I was beginning the match, is seriously satisfying. And especially, you know, like right now we do have quite a bit of games that do have very nicely responsive characters, from indie titles to big AAA ones like Last of Us, like Dead Island 2, delivered some pretty amazing things, and destruction was kind of lacking, and I will say this for me scratches quite a big itch. Absolutely. Has some issues. Definitely some things to be ironed out, but man, like, I will say a very positive impression in this as soon as the single player came in, and in a reasonably solid state. So if you look at the earlier parts of the stream, we had some issues with the bots. There were some not very rational bot behaviors, but overall not bad if you just want a chaotic, insane war experience. Now the rifles are far more effective at taking people down, but the call-ins are way too fun. Well, the damage in Wet Works is actually quite advanced, so I have been following the development for quite a while. Bogan was sharing the work in progress stuff for a very long while, and it's not simple. It's quite a big feature, as you can see in the demonstration. And he isn't done yet, so it takes quite a lot of work to really deliver very detailed responses. And yeah, let's go for the next map. Let's see what else sounds appealing. So yeah, so I do have pretty much maxed out everything, and score to win actually. Let's try this trenches thing, whatever it is. Not sure I playing it, but we'll see. No, Mir, I haven't bought console, it's just that Ghost of Tsushima had a PC release. Yeah, like eventually I might buy a console, but I will say I am kind of dreading the whole controller thing. Just not my thing whatsoever. Have to be honest. That so looks like a big map. I think it is already messed up, so I'm not actually... I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, it is already kind of trenched up, messed up. Nah, you know what? I actually want to... I want somewhere nice, green and peaceful to turn into that kind of a messed up area. So let's get back into the map choosing. Yeah, I'm not familiar with every map here. So... hopefully this village isn't too wrecked. We'll see, we'll see. Oh yeah, so the dynamic ragdolls for Gmod, seriously impressive, like, top some really good games I've played in freaking Gmod, in that engine. Never ceases to amaze. And let's see how green and pretty is this place. Actually quite green and pretty. Alright, so yeah. I actually want a quick look. So, alright, so I'll do a quick look of the before. Yeah, indeed a very nice European village. Farm area and all that. I'm not sure how destructible the houses are. We'll see. So this is kind of the before. From afar, as you can see, not a single crater anywhere, as far as I can tell. And we'll just play it and see just how nasty it gets. Alright. You know, Amir, I actually might get a console for GTA 6, actually. It is one I am very excited about. You know, for the very least I'll enjoy it. You always have people saying like, oh, 4 was better, 4 was the best. I assume, I suppose, I don't know. But I know that for the very least I'm gonna be enjoying it. For sure. As you can see, we have quite a big bot group coming towards the church. And yeah, we'll see how badly the town gets damaged. Because I actually have no idea, I haven't played this map. Not sure if all of those buildings are at the moment mapped out for destruction. And here we go with the explosions part of it. Amir, what do you see in the Iran flag? So what I have behind me is a print of a British short haircut, not an Iran flag, or any other flag for that matter. It's a print of a painting of my friend's glorious British short. Yeah, so we do have a building come down, awesome. So my friend has a glorious British short haircut, and when we are doing the fairs, he's a bestseller. Yeah, I think the flag might be of Germany during the World War I time. I'm not sure, I'm actually not terribly well versed in those things. And I got absolutely wrecked. I watched some documentaries around the time I was reviewing Verdun, but haven't gotten auto deep into it in a while. I probably want to go somewhere safer. I'm not sure what a safer place would actually be. It's an enemy? Yeah. So to my understanding, the maps are, I think, are inspired by locations, but not actually like made in detail. So not like detailed recreations of any location, as far as I'm aware. But there will be workshop support, and if anyone wants to recreate some well-known battlefield, I think people should be able to do it. I think there were some mods like this for Battlecry of Freedom. And it's gonna get messy very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And as you know, the glowing flare is a sign to absolutely GTFO as fast as you can. Exactly for such reasons. And I think this assault has no chance. Absolutely no. No, yeah, we had like maybe 7 guys advancing, and they had a big wave. But as you can see, there is quite a good bit of friendlies currently going towards C, so we'll see how that turns out. And I'm still waiting for when the creeping barrage can load up. Okay, that thing is hostile. Maybe if I, let's see. Does he have any anti-tank guns? Does the engineer have them? I think this thing should be anti-tank. Now where is it? Very unpleasant German tank. Alright, burning. Yeah, so never mind. Hello, Bibi. Not the Prime Minister of Israel. But he apparently was in a death animation. And you know, even with that guy, it is kind of still the safest place in this whole body area. As you can see. Yeah, it still is the safest place in this whole body area. Eventually it will go to hell, but... I'm gonna be taking cover here for a while at least. Am I free to go? Am I free to go? Yes, seems so. As I was mentioning, the bots do need some work. And then he just headshotted me from that distance. We'll say pretty good marksmanship. What can I say? And actually I think next time I'm gonna take the ambient temperature challenge. I'm gonna have a look at the aftermath. So we have seen the beginning. We do have it now ongoing, and I do want to see how it is kind of in the middle of the chaos. And this church is built kind of well. But that guy isn't, as you can see. And yeah, you can get some pretty atmospheric stuff actually. We'll see. And we're having A is being taken, that is a big issue. They want to avoid the gas. We'll see just how bad it is. Yeah, pretty bad, so let's have a look at the aftermath actually. So we have some buildings missing, as you can see. I think the church is indestructible. Might be because of it is a spawn point, so it might be not terribly responsive, but other buildings very much are, and we'll see what's gonna be landing here. There was some calling. Incendiary, and yeah. As you can see, there is some degree of physics to the trees, because and if I recall correctly, at least in Battlecry Freedom they were sticking around, they didn't disappear. So that is pretty cool, and yeah, the town was a little bit happier before the action began. As I mentioned, if you go back in the VOD part of the stream, there wasn't a single bloody crater anywhere. And right now we have just you can see where characters were going around and where there was pretty much no one. Seriously cool. I will actually later on see if I can disable the time limit. Set a ridiculously high top score to win the battle, and see just how badly I can get basically any location be wrecked, and just how much will my VC cry as that happens. And yeah, and all of those I think they do leave a small crater. or make an existing one go deeper. So seriously cool stuff. As you can see, like, it just didn't look this way when I was starting out. You know, and have it all happen dynamically as the fight goes on, wherever shells land, and as I was mentioning multiple times, now I'll say it again, not too many games scratch the itch of responsive environments. This one kind of does. The building destruction still needs some... as you can see, it does need to get prettier. It isn't the nicest I saw, but when it comes to the overall responsiveness, yeah, I am very impressed, I will say. Like, the buildings eventually will come down. They do leave a pile of rubble. They aren't just vanishing into nothing. The vegetation responses are seriously good. The terrain, as you can see, is just entirely dynamic. And every single crater lasts, every single effing one. But there was a tree that came down somewhere around the church area. Maybe they do vanish now? Yes, so I think... yeah, I believe we had a tree here. I believe it fell down here and yeah, eventually it vanished. I will say, with this aftermath, I'm not even mad, to be honest, at a vanishing tree. So, yep. Alright, I think I'll just join the chaos until the round ends. I should be able to have my own contribution to the destruction actually. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just go and blow up some stuff around the windmill. Yes, so do have enough points for a barrage. Where can I see some enemies firing at us? I'm seeing some smoke there, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, alright, yeah, so I have seen some movement there. We'll see if I'm correct with this. Oh yeah, I think it should be a successful barrage. Right, so I got 4 bonds. A friendly ran into my barrage, as it always very much happens. Alright, yeah, so apparently the trees do disappear now. They did stick around in Battlecry, they do disappear here. But I will say it is messier than any Battlecry game I ever played. And with this revolver my chances are very slim, very slim. Might be able to slightly repel, and yeah, like, listen, once again, to scratch the itch of responsive environments, this happening dynamically in combat absolutely does, like, wow. I'm definitely gonna be enjoying this game very much. And as I was mentioning, the character responses are, oh, so and so. But it has some cool things going for it, but yeah, the main draw for me here is absolutely the destruction. And the ability to have it all be so chaotic in the single player. Right, yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, the safest place still is kind of the windmill. And back into the town of death we go. Oops, yep, that is a big issue. But at least I can revive him. So, could have been worse, and I gotta get into somewhere, take cover. Yeah, so as I was mentioning, there is a disabled state, and you can actually finish characters in that disabled state. They can be revived by teammates. I think he's going for a revive. He can't have it. And this building is not gonna be sitting around for very long at all. Now where the hell are my teammates? Right, a few more minutes I'm gonna be having a look at the aftermath at this stage, which is also gonna be very, very messy. And we have been able to cap it. At least that. Okay, so we do have an attack of a big sort of enemies coming from the church area. And I do actually happen to have a present for them, yeah, so... Alright, yeah, so... If I could tell all of the bots to defend and avoid that absolute death zone... Right, 2 bots down... 3 bots down. And that was not my intention. Anyway. Yeah, the pistol somewhat works at close range, but not very much on anything kind of longer. And artillery, Collins, absolutely everywhere, absolutely everywhere. As you may have seen, we had a legless guy lying there, so right, so let's have a look at the state of the location at this stage. So I did call in some support here and made some new craters. And yeah, we have many new craters on this map. Almost looks like a strategy game I reviewed. Like, if you recall my review of regiments, this is basically how the how the aftermath look, just with more vehicle racks all around. And I will say, Jerry, like I can definitely also the windmill can't get destroyed, so I also can definitely imagine people not enjoying this as much as I do, but I am seriously enjoying it. Like, more than I was expecting. As I mentioned, for me it does scratch a very certain itch. Not for everyone, but for me it absolutely does, I will say. Wonder, do we have any river expansions anywhere? As I was saying, much like the aftermath in your average strategy game. Seriously cool. Any bots in the area who may want to help out? There is no way I can repair this alone. Absolutely no way I can repair this alone. That's gonna be ending soon with a win for the Germans, as it seems. And a very, very seriously wrecked map. Just look at that. And as I mentioned, you can actually finish down enemies, so oop. Yeah. I really want the satisfaction of that now. Now, if he could have gone down and be gassed by that, I'd be for it, but the gas didn't reach him, so some things you have to get done yourself. And here goes the round, with a victory for the Germans. Alright, so in conclusion, I basically made my conclusion several times in this stream, but I'll say it again for the sake of anyone who just kind of watches, skips through, in case you missed out any point where I was talking about that. So basically a very cool, very chaotic experience. I was playing this entire stream in single player. It is currently available. The playtest is at the moment, I think today and perhaps some of tomorrow, is still gonna be playable for free for anyone who wants. And as I was saying, it was all entirely in the single player, so a very chaotic experience. As you've seen, the bots do have some issues. You could clearly see there are some AI does need quite a bit of work, but overall, that type of experience, with that degree of responsive environments, the terrain deformation is dynamic, the vegetation, pretty much all of it that I saw gets wiped out if hit by something big enough, and the buildings also. Most can get destroyed, the ones that don't come down are the ones that are spawn points. And as I was mentioning, it is scratching a certain itch where you want a chaotic war experience, but you know, in a multiplayer game you have many great multiplayer games where you have a very chaotic experience, but if you aren't playing in a team, you're kind of a menace. You aren't like, people are gonna get pissed at you, and for a good reason. And this game, you can actually enjoy it in single player. Just have the experience, with some flaws, with some issues, absolutely, but you can just jump in after a working day and have yourself some chaos in a very, very responsive environment that you can see throughout this entire stream, so definitely better than I was expecting. Some work, some smoothing out does need to be done, but all in all, in my opinion, very cool stuff. So yeah, that is it for today. I'll see you all next week with probably something else.